was muted for the stream. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ROG Pulse, the weekly show where we dive into all things tech and gaming. And today we are doing our monthly Q&A fully focused on the ROG Ally.
Hold on. I opened up both YouTube and Twitch chat, and I had both playing, so then I had 3 of you talking in my ear.
Oh, nice.
And you know what? I love you, Jake, but one of you is enough.
Yeah. Nobody wants 3 of me. That muted at the start was probably a blessing for just those 2 seconds where you couldn't hear. But yeah, guys, we are diving in to talk all things Ally. We've been collecting questions on Discord for a full week now. The announcement was
so many questions.
There's a lot of questions. And we've seen a lot in chat, and you know, people are going to continue to trickle in through the stream and ask the same question repeatedly. I think we kind of expect that. We've had the same question asked a few different ways about 1,000 times already.
Oh, yeah.
And but this will be a great VOD to kind of go back. We're not necessarily going to be answering all of your questions live in chat. Like, we may pull some out, but we do have a bunch that we curated through the community already.
The other important, any questions that are asked live in chat, I'm pretty confident.
Yo, so I've been I've been talking this whole time.
Can't answer yet.
And my mic was not plugged
in. One thing I
in.
do want to say is that
wow, because I have my guitar plugged into my interface. Wow.
Our question,
what's good, y'all? We on Twitch, baby. What's popping?
If you're watching on YouTube, there are timestamps. I'm going to put timestamps in later, okay? So if
yo,
you
Savage Wolf Gaming.
I'm going to painstakingly
thanks for the sub, my brother. That is my homie. That's my cousin.
The legend.
That's my little cousin.
The other
so if
thing
you in the
is,
chat,
a lot of questions
subscribe to
about
Savage Wolf Gaming. I don't know when he's going to stream on Twitch, but he do stream on
YouTube.
So you can check him out on Savage _Wolf _ Gaming.
I'm going to drop the link in chat
so,
right now.
To my little cousin. Matter of fact, Trav, throw your link. Throw your link in the chat. Throw your link in the chat.
The pins, it's pinned right there, or in the very first the
link to your
section. There is a
YouTube
order thing. For the
there'll be links
Ally.
in the description of this video too.
That too.
Sorry, did you say that already?
Yep.
The other thing that I would say is we've had a lot of questions about when's the Ally going to be available in my country? Can I pre-order? Keep an eye on the social media accounts for your region as well, because it does differ a little bit from region to region whether they're going to have pre-orders, when they go up, what retailers they're going to be available at, because it depends on that local office's deals with their retailers and all.
But I'm being very diligent about tracking that too. So we should our resource on our Discord and stuff should be up to date.
Okay.
And
so
yeah, I'll just want to talk about the charging dock and the peripherals.
Yes.
You know, just set up for notify, to get the update on that, because you can't order it yet. But
I'm going to put links in both.
I'm not ordering that because my thing is, if it's a handheld,
and
why am I hooking it up to a computer?
Text message notification.
Hey, with the 6 months, my man, Joe, good looks, bro. Good looks. We got the 6. My boy sub for 6 months. I ain't streaming Twitch in
I don't know if that works in all regions.
6 months.
Oh, yes,
and my bro just pulled up and sub for 6
US.
months. Shout out to my boy Savage Wolf Gaming.
And or Ally case.
That's fair. That's love right there. That's family right there. You feel me?
I'm going to put that in chat as well, so you guys can see it. You can also see that just by going to those 2 product pages.
With the big 6 months.
For sale, you will know right away. So,
family.
Before we dive in, I want to just say up front that there are some questions that I don't have an answer to yet. I wasn't able to get in time before stream, or they're just things that we don't have enough detail to answer yet. If there are enough leftover questions, or we get a lot more information in a few weeks and we want to do a follow-up video, we may, but just know that we may not get to every single question. There are a variety of reasons, but we have a lot of stuff that we're going to answer today.
Yeah, that's the one we looked at last time, the ROG Ally.
Yeah, we can start with just kind of talking about what kind of sacrifices
the one
had to be made.
I pre-ordered it, so I definitely wanted to check this out to see if they
did you have to make
answer all of my questions
of the Ally.
So I wasn't actually a part of making the Ally, but one that I actually have talked with the team about that they had really lofty goals, right? They wanted to get this thing below 600 grams. And we did a lot of stuff.
Dude on the left holding it.
To whittle it down. We kind of whittled away some of the plastic inside to bring down the weight.
There's a lot of etching. I mean, this is ventilation, but there's just again removing plastic for detail that looks cool, but also is functional.
We got
make sure we're not echoing.
608 grams. We did not reach our goal there. We had to sacrifice our lofty goals and go with 608. But I think 608 is still pretty good. It's still very lightweight. But
I mean,
that was one of those things where, we really wanted to hit that 600 mark, and we just couldn't quite do it with everything that we wanted to pack into the allies. So,
all right, bet. I just wanted to make sure I was
kind of a related
audio sturdy. Okay, bet. I wanted to make sure I wasn't echoing.
A lot of people asked a lot of different questions, like, why doesn't the ally have X feature?
Because I had the speakers, I had the monitors on, and then this mic, I don't know if this mic was picking it up, but
like
good looks.
Super smooth refresh rates. Can the next ally have this feature?
Yeah.
We can't really detail the thought process behind every possible feature. We're not going to answer like all of those questions. What I can say is this: every feature
I had to clock in, bro. I had to work early today.
Out to appeal to the widest variety of gamers
instead of midnight.
We thought most important to that wide audience, while staying at an extremely competitive price. I honestly am so shocked.
I'm about to bring my work. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that. Hold on, I'll be right back.
How great of a device it is. Remember, Jake and I have been gaming with this. We know exactly what it's like to use. It
Over
is
a month
everything
now.
I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's more than
by the same token,
better than I expected, to be honest.
Oh.
I was getting 105 frames on Diablo 4 last week, like 105 FPS, not sustained. That wasn't the average, but I peaked at 105. That's still incredible.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the same vein, I can't necessarily speak about what's coming in the future. People are already asking questions about like the Ally 2, this like mythical device that guys, the Ally 1 isn't even out yet. Just hold your horses.
Yeah.
I promise you. I promise you, if someone is working on that, they're paying attention to feedback on the Ally 1.
Yeah,
and
this is a common
work
thing that we
laptop.
get when we release new graphics cards too. People always ask, will there be a white edition? Well, we're getting the same question a lot about this. Will there be a black edition? And the answer is, you know what? Keep asking that question on social media and stuff, because they want to hear that.
Shout out
because
to Savage with the hold on.
An answer for you. We don't have
with the 10 gifted. Hold on.
Black edition at this time.
With the 10 gifted, you wildin', bro.
Could it happen?
You wildin', bro.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
I'll also say the white version is
appreciate you, bud.
Really, really nice. Jake and I, when we first saw this, we were kind of like
last October.
Hold on.
Yeah, we were both.
I'm getting a call.
Oh, no black. I guess white's okay. And then when we saw it, I was like, oh wait, no, this is so much better.
Yeah, we were pushing back on it like through email. We're like, black seems like a little bit more ROG, and like just.
This is one of those things that I was happy to be wrong about.
Yeah, same. I agree.
Because the white is so nice. And here's the thing about white that I have found. White, I know a lot of people are like worried that it will like show dirt or something. And look, if your white device is showing dirt, you need to wash your hands more often. The thing about white, the white plastic is that the white plastic doesn't show like fingerprints and stuff at all.
It does not.
So it always looks pristine.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up being converted to white. So I understand that people want different colors. You want a pink one, you want a blue one. Just keep asking. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying no, but we haven't announced anything at this time.
So I'm sure a lot of the people that are tuning into the stream or watching this VOD have been checking out the various reviewers that have gotten their hands on with the device. And, do we have any updates on any of those concerns that these reviewers have been bringing up?
All right, guys. We've gotten a lot of questions about this stuff. I have some updates. So, few things, and then we'll start getting into the real nitty-gritty questions. The issue where there were a few early samples of the device that were experiencing like the buttons sticking, right? That has been fixed. It will not be present on units that go out for sale on June 15th.
Yeah.
Done. Fixed. Huzzah. Easy. As far as the joysticks, there were like 1 or 2 reviewers that said they were feeling some like latency in the joysticks. None of us have experienced this ourselves, but the team is investigating that. That's all I can say there. I have not experienced it on my Ally at all. Our team is also investigating the discrepancies in performance between the Z1 Extreme and the AMD Ryzen 7 7840U, which are similar chips, and they're performing a little bit differently, or what a reviewer found that they were performing differently for him at lower wattages. The team is still tweaking and optimizing. They're releasing more updates going forward. In fact, we released an update like yesterday that boosted performance at 10 watts, and there's still more to come. Okay, so efficiency and battery life is a big priority for us right now.
Yeah,
they're working on it. I promise you that as well. And a few people have asked about the Z1's performance at 10 watts, and I can't say anything about the Z1 yet. I don't think that we have. I think there's probably a performance embargo on that or something. And I haven't used it myself, so
yeah,
can't say anything about that yet. But just wait, we'll see. we will see all of these things.
It's exciting.
All right, my fault, y'all.
I mean,
I had
just
some work
transparency,
stuff.
guys. Like when
Some
we
work
went to
stuff to
Taiwan
do.
a few months ago, I noticed the button problem.
This is true.
Right away.
I had to start work
And
early today. I'm
Linus
supposed to start at
and Dave
midnight,
T were the
but
first 2 people to get hands on it.
yet
And
here I
Linus
am.
Also noticed the button problem. Dave didn't say anything.
True dedication.
But,
you feel me?
So
This
is
is the work
something that we've
laptop.
actually already been tackling,
And this
like,
is me
behind the
putting in
scenes.
work
It's
on the
something that
stream.
We were aware of and we were looking at.
I'm working while
and
I'm
that's
working.
How
Stop
we're
playing
able
with
to
me.
get this remedied. It's just
Shit, yo, what's good, bro? What's good? Check out my son Cardiac Arrest in the chat.
Reviewers have.
The other cousin. It's my other little cousin. Check out my little
Those
cousin.
were pre-units, but even
They
these
killing
units that
shit.
these
I'm trying to
reviewers
be like,
have.
I'm trying to catch up to them.
And
They
this one
motivating
still
me.
kind of stick a little bit sometimes. It's not
Let
like
me mute this real quick and say something very important. My little, like these dudes, my family, my boys in the chat right now, you know, and you know what I'm saying. They grinding, so I automatically feel like I gotta grind. You know, we all trying to make it in this crazy content creation world.
It causes the issue
crazy.
to flare up a little bit more.
I can see that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways,
love you too,
so
fam. Love you too, man.
We already answered this question.
Hold
about
on,
what
is
was
that
the
a
black
heart?
version? Because
I think
like,
that's a heart.
Very possible.
Now
is
we're
there?
into the gritty questions.
Yeah. So Exploding Juice was asking, is there a way to capture footage with the from the Ally on a capture card? And
Straight up. How do you think Jake's been streaming with it all
I'm gonna
week,
try to
by the
get
way,
my
on our
schedule
Twitch
back
channel?
going.
You can see all kinds of Ally games.
I
we've
used to
been
stream
streaming all
like
month long.
at least
Variety
3
of
times a
games
week
from
on Twitch.
Cyberpunk to
And
Stardew
then
Valley. Like, we're going for super high
Two,
refresh
like
rate with
3 times on Twitch,
games like Hades
2
and Stardew,
times
and then we're
on
going for super
the other
high
platform.
fidelity with games like Cyberpunk. So you can buy any USB-C hub. I have one here. This just has, USB ports out. It has an HDMI out. That's the thing you need. So you're basically running out of the USB port on the top into your USB hub. And again, we're going to be selling an official adapter that also has an HDMI hub out. And then you run that HDMI cable into your capture card, and then you split that capture card, and then you run that straight to your PC, or if you want to run it to your TV as well, you can do it that way. But
I'm not going to do all of that though. It's a handheld. Why am I going to hook it up to the TV?
Wi-Fi 6, or if you have Wi-Fi 5 is probably fine, but I'd say I would encourage Wi-Fi 6 or greater. Then you can take advantage of the Wi-Fi 6E capability on the Ally, and you could do what's called NDI. You could send an NDI signal by basically installing OBS on your Ally. The Ally has it is Windows, right? So you can just install OBS on it, send an NDI signal over Wi-Fi to your streaming PC, and then stream that way. So there's a few different ways to do it.
Why would you stream off of that? Like, that's just content right there.
For a lot of my testing, I've been using this USB-C to, it's like a 7-in-1 adapter, USB-C to Ethernet. You could do that too for NDI if you want it to be a little bit. If your Wi-Fi is a little spotty in your house or whatever, and that doesn't work well.
Yeah,
Ethernet's an option too. But at that point, you could run HDMI to your capture card. But ultimately, it depends on.
Everybody's gonna have different setups, and some people may not have capture cards, and NDI is a solution that doesn't require a capture card. But sometimes then you got to worry about mixing the audio, and because NDI isn't necessarily as good for audio. So it all depends on your setup. But anyways, options exist, and it's definitely something where you can do. You have more choices than with a cell phone. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's
people stream from cell phones
cool.
all the time.
I'm sure.
Will there be first-party accessories for the Ally? I guess this kind of ties in nicely to what we were just talking about.
Sorry, I realized in the doc I wrote name ? Asks, and that sounds like I didn't know their name, but their username was actually name ?
Oh yeah, I skipped over that. I'm like, he forgot who wrote this question. Okay,
I know that's
Beautiful.
what their name was. So as we mentioned earlier, right? We have the case and the USB-C with HDMI.
I wonder if it comes with the case.
Those are coming. We have the XG mobile.
How y'all don't have the case ready, bro? Come on now. I need the case.
4090 laptop GPU and the Radeon. Is it the 6850 XT? Sometimes I mix up all the numbers in my head. Both of those are available as well. Some people asked about screen protectors. I don't believe we have any first-party options, but I know that Dbrand already has a page up for their screen protector.
Dbrand doesn't miss a beat ever.
I know. They never do. I hope they have skins too. I think that would be really cool.
Oh man, don't even.
6850M XT.
Okay. And yeah, there's older versions like this. This one is a 3080 in it. It's it's great, but it's just the last generation. But I
Still
do have a
awesome if
40.
you-
I got a
we
ship.
just don't actively sell those, I think.
I got a shipping notification. I think it's the 4090 XG
The
mobile.
4090's
I think so.
coming to
So
you.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay,
4090 beast is
82 asks, if Valve releases SteamOS for users to download and install themselves, would you support SteamOS on the Ally? Can I dual boot? What about 3D CAD files?
Okay. A lot of parts to this question. There was also a related question from Hilo on the Discord just about modding the Ally in general. So let's break this down because there's a lot here. First of all, yes, you can absolutely install another OS, whether it be SteamOS or if you want to install some other flavor of Linux or whatever on the Ally, you can absolutely do that, just like you can on any of our laptops. We don't block you from doing that. It is your device. You own it. One of the beauties of the PC platform is the ability to do things like that. Remember, like
That is
Jake
cool.
and I are enthusiasts. We have a company full of enthusiasts. I love seeing what kinds of crazy things people do with their gaming gear. So if you end up like modding your Ally or doing something awesome, not only am I excited to see that, please share it in the Discord. Maybe we'll share some on stream if we get some cool ones. Like, I would love to see what kinds of crazy stuff people do with this device. The other part of this question, so when you say support, would you support SteamOS on the Ally? So while we don't block you from installing SteamOS or Linux, we also don't fully support it in the literal sense of like if you need to obtain customer support from us. Like if you need to contact us because you're having issues, I mean, it's a case-by-case basis, but if you are running SteamOS on the Ally and you have an issue with SteamOS, we can't help you with that because it's not running the software that we built into the Ally, right? So I can't go into every like potential hypothetical situation, but there are cases where they may be exceptions. But think of it like you would any other laptop or phone when it comes to installing other OSs and how the manufacturer would support that. So, that's how that goes. Now, I'm not saying that there's no universe where I don't know if someone plans on selling an Ally with SteamOS. That would obviously change that. If we sold the Ally with SteamOS on it, or some future
that low key is a cop out
then
because
in that case we would support it. But
they're actually
we don't
like
build.
they're actually under fire right now because their motherboards has been fucking up. They're under fire right now, so they really need to make this device work, or they're gonna be in trouble. I didn't know that before I pre-ordered though. I didn't know that at all.
Imagine it would work the same as on any Windows PC, but again, because we don't like officially offer Allies in the store with dual booted OSs, like that's just not something. I have too many other things to test that I haven't personally played with that, but I'm sure some YouTubers have or are.
So he basically saying, go ahead and fuck it up if you want to. They ain't gonna. We gonna try to fix it. That's basically what he's saying.
I know it's like been discussed, but I mean, can I say that? I don't know if I can say that. Certain things are being discussed. That's all I can say.
Okay. That's probably a good thing, but we'll leave it at that. Dark Chocolate asks, will we be able to download Armory Crate SE and other software and drivers from the ASUS website? What happens if we reinstall Windows?
So yes, you will be able to
That's a good
download
question.
Armory Crate SE from the ASUS site, just like the drivers and software we offer for our other devices like laptops. That's no different here. That said, I don't recommend reinstalling Windows from scratch and then getting the drivers. If you can, if you still have your recovery partition on the device, my recommendation would be to use the reset this PC feature in Windows if you want to reinstall Windows, because then it comes with all that stuff built in and you know it's going to work properly because it's like still the original image, right? I haven't reinstalled Windows from scratch myself. I'm sure that would work if you downloaded all the stuff, but
So he don't know basically. He don't know basically.
is to just use the reset this PC feature.
Word, he said YouTubers got this. He literally said that.
Send laptops back and forth. Still has
So
Armory Crate and all those.
So basically,
because Armory Crate is really it runs.
they ain't
like
really
the
finished
games
testing this shit.
like
So
in ways, especially
I'm about to be tight if
controllers,
this shit
the
don't
games,
work.
all of
If
that
it don't
stuff.
work, me, I'm simple. I'm not gonna be doing all that hacking and modding.
Armory Crate SE is not the Armory Crate on desktop.
I'm gonna just be
It
playing
is
games.
Far more.
Maybe do a
It
little
is, and
emulation.
I really like it.
But
Me
for the
too.
people that
I
really
think
want to
that's
tweak
the
this
thing
thing,
that
they about to be tight.
As somebody
It
who's
might be
super
tight.
plugged into ROG, it's the thing I'm most impressed by on the device is how well they did with Armory Crate SE.
Yep, and actually, let me. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna move two of these questions up because they're kind of related. Okay, so I'm gonna just shadow do this in the doc right now.
Okay.
Just give me a quick second here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? All right. This was at the end, but I'm gonna move it here. people have been asking, like, does ASUS plan on giving strong support and updating the Ally over time?
Mm-hmm.
This is related to the Armory Crate discussion because, yes, obviously, we plan to give robust support to the Ally, just like we do all of our laptops. Graphics drivers will regularly get updated through AMD and Windows. We will continue to provide regular updates to Armory Crate, just like we do on our laptops. Like, if you bought a laptop from us 3 years ago, it's still getting Armory Crate updates. And if you have a laptop with, like, the Enemy Matrix from 3 years ago, it's still getting, like, new features to it, right?
Okay.
So that's not going to change with the Ally. We have a lot of updates and optimization planned between now and launch, and we plan to continue supporting it after launch as well. No
I
question.
scratch myself.
Okay. Just to
in my
make
sleep.
Sure
that should
is
be hurting.
clear.
I violated. Hold on. I don't know if I can
is
see
the
that.
BIOS accessible? Does it
I
use
violated
secure
my-
boot?
I
And
violated
can
my
it
shit.
be turned off and back on if needed? What else is available in the BIOS, if so?
This is another related question, kind of to the stuff about installing Linux and whatnot. Yes, secure boot is on by default, but in the BIOS there is an option to turn it off. You've got other kind of typical BIOS stuff. You've got smart settings, drive and boot configuration options, network boot options, legacy USB. There's an option in the BIOS to turn off the boot sound at boot. So if you, here, I'm just going to do it right now. Oh, actually turn the boot sound off. I realized I was demonstrating the sound that it makes when it boots up with the animation. I turned it off today when I found that feature. It makes a cool sound when it boots up, but if you like to play the Ally in bed stealthily while like someone's sleeping next to you, you
don't want that.
Whoosh. Yeah, so like that, there's stuff like that in the BIOS. So we're still producing BIOS updates for this, so that's not like an all-encompassing list, but yeah, it's there. It's easily accessible. It has options. A lot of people asking, are we able to upgrade the SSD? Yep. It is just.
They've been jacking that.
So
They've been
it says
jacking that
screws
since
in
the
back,
beginning.
Open it up.
Just
SSD
open it
right
up,
there.
pop the new
In
SD
fact,
in there.
we're going to do a teardown video.
I might
in a few
do
weeks.
that
We don't
for a
have the
video.
exact date
Who
for
knows?
you yet, but we're going to do a live teardown.
We just decided this today.
Yeah. We're going to bring on our colleague Sasha, who used to come on the show a lot more. But
we haven't
anyways,
actually asked him, but I assume he's going to join.
I did ask him. He hasn't responded yet, but he's going to do it. I know he will. But anyways,
if he
yes,
won't, I will.
The SSD is very accessible in the back. It's very easy to get to. And then there is the SD card reader as well, high speed. So you have that for expanding your storage.
Yep. Totally. Yeah, and we are going to have a guide on how to do that too. We're going to have a lot of guides coming up on how to use some of these different features. I've been using the SD card on my Ally for testing some other games because I ran out of space with all the games I need to test. I actually think the amount of space on this is perfect for me as is, except when I'm benchmarking, because I have to benchmark like 20 different games for this. But I don't play 20 games at the same time.
Yeah, but you're never gonna play 20. Yeah,
I just
never
see
gonna play
questions
20
about
games at the same
Wi-Fi
time.
5. Yes, that'll work. No problem. Okay. So Shadow Ninja asks, can you record gameplay with the Ally?
Yeah, this was originally a more complicated question about installing certain software to record gameplay, but yes, obviously you can install any Windows software you want that would work on a device with this hardware. But more importantly, the Ally already has screen recording and screenshotting features.
Yeah, they
built
showed that in the last
into the
presentation.
Xbox Game Bar, and they're actually what's particularly what I like about them and why I am going to use them instead of other screen recording features or software is that they're built into the command center. So while I'm playing a game, I can click the command center button, press record screen right there, and it'll start recording the screen for me. I don't need to like alt tab out of the game entirely and go to my screen recording app or whatever,
Yeah.
So that's how I would recommend doing it. But if you have a screen recording software you like, if you want to use OBS or whatever, you can do that.
Just it's Windows, right? Install it, do it, and
But
it has
we wanted to.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess maybe one of the other concerns is like, is there enough bandwidth to record on OBS? And that's going to be case by case to what games you're playing and how much performance each game, what kind of stress you're putting into it. But I've seen a lot of games.
I wouldn't try that.
30% CPU, so it's like okay.
I wouldn't try that unless like it's for a video, like for a YouTube video, just to see how practical it is.
With the eye patch asks, what are the specs of the gyro sensor IMU?
That is a very specific question, but Cat with an eye patch, I hunted down this info just for you because this is a lot of this stuff I knew off the top of my head. That is not what I knew off the top of my head. It is a BMI 323. That is an IMU with a polling rate of 40 milliseconds at 25 hertz. That said, gyro support right now, it's not built into the software yet for like manual mapping into games. I believe it only works with games that have gyro support built in for now. So if you're like a huge gyro user, Like it's there, but
I'm not. Who's gonna be sitting there
It's not necessarily fully featured yet.
doing this all day?
We're updating.
Like I never saw the appeal to that.
Techno
I'm not gonna
asks,
I'm not
is
ever
it
gonna use
possible
that.
to
Probably.
disable any cores or multi-threading.
So, yes, this is not in the version of the software that we sent out to reviewers, but it is something that the team is working on adding to Armory Crate SE right now. This is so it'll allow you to like disable, cut down the number of cores that are available, which can improve performance and battery life in certain scenarios. Though that's going to vary from game to game and stuff like that. You'll have to experiment with it yourself, but the option will be there for you.
Okay. We've seen a lot of people ask this, but you have Ocean of Stars getting credit here. Can the Ally do VR?
Yes, it can. I actually had not tested this myself. I do have a VR.
I wouldn't do that either, but it's
trying
interesting
this.
to know.
But what a cool use case, because it's so lightweight.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be tethered to a desktop PC or even put a laptop in your backpack.
Just put it in your backpack.
It's
just put this in your backpack.
It's so light. Blunty just did a video on this. That's how that I know that it works. So if you go on YouTube and you look up Blunty's video on VR and the Ally, he checked that out and tested it out for us so that I didn't have to answer this question. Thanks, Blunty.
Wings asks, how many controllers can you connect to the Ally to play couch co-op games? Can you use third-party controllers?
Yes, officially the Ally supports up to 4 controllers, and you can use any controller that would be compatible with Windows. The one thing that you do have to do is because the Ally has a built-in controller, if you're going to hook up 4 controllers, you want to disable the built-in controller. There will be an option for that in the command center, so that if you're like hooking it up to a TV to play with friends, you disable the built-in controller, then connect your controllers over Bluetooth or with a USB hub or whatever it is you want to do, and then party time.
The dream.
Yep.
This is that guy name ? Asks, is it possible to customize how the hardware works on a game-by-game basis?
Yes, it is. So on the Ally, it's called Game Profile. So when you go to that initial screen, here, I'll show you again on my Ally.
I was watching this.
There we go.
Hold on, these idiots.
On this screen, you can
just
like
walking into random people's houses.
To customize
now for TikTok, now when you get shot,
and
don't say nothing.
Allow you to.
This is stupid.
Assign a
just walking into random people's houses.
Just for that game, you can set that game to automatically run in a certain operating mode. So like I play most of my AAA games in Turbo, right? Because I want beautiful graphics, good frame rate. But Dead Cells I play in silent mode because I still get 120 frames per second in silent mode. And so I have Dead Cells set to automatically flip the device into silent mode when it launches, so that I don't have to do that manually. It's pretty cool. You can have certain games have different trigger sensitivities. Different games can use different display color profiles, so that every time you launch that game, it is using all of your preferred settings across the device. Very, very cool feature. And one of the reasons that, yeah, I really like using Armory Crate to launch everything. Like, not only does it combine all my games into one place, I don't have to scroll through a big library. It's just the installed games on the system. And then, yeah, I get all of my custom settings dialed in for each game. Pretty cool.
The dream. I'm just gonna we've been seeing this question a lot. People again are asking.
Yeah, this
about,
looks like a cool adapter
for the Ally.
I might cop
this
this
is
down the road. I don't need it right away though.
Be selling. This is a very simple charger dock that has the HDMI port. So if you just want to be able to install this and then use this with your device instead of going all out and getting actually mobile, this is an option.
Charger/USB hub.
Yeah. So. And
there's a question that just came up in YouTube that I just have to. Can you please figure out a way to solve the stupid tribalism in both the Ally and the Steam Deck community?
It's unavoidable.
Hey man,
it's
we've
unavoidable.
Had console wars for all of eternity.
You can't avoid that. People go and pick the one they think is better.
Console wars have kind of ended. Right? You don't have this feud between PlayStation and Xbox anymore. So it was only natural for a new war to begin. There can never be a world without a war.
Right.
Now we're in the handheld wars.
Right, we in the handheld era. Look how many companies is putting out handhelds.
We talked about the Steam Deck on the show before. We were both excited when it came out. I was excited because I knew that was going to drive handhelds to bigger prominence. And I personally, I think that was their goal, right? Valve tweeted, they congratulated us on the launch. We tweeted back, we love Valve,
so
we
wholesome.
love Steam.
Yeah, like it's bro.
The only reason I didn't buy a Steam Deck is because 720p. That's like for me, I just don't. That's like a
I
deal
respect
breaker.
that.
But for plenty of people, they don't care. That's good enough, and they
Like the thing with that is like, if there's companies competing, the customer wins. We keep getting better products on top of better products. This needs to happen in the gaming industry as well. Like a lot of these games are shipping not finished. The shit's just trash. We need more competition.
The categories of device that I didn't own yet. Handhelds have existed, but they weren't quite there yet for me. And now, so I don't like the war part, but I'm glad there's a new thing to war about because it means that I get to game on something new.
I love people being proud of the device that they love. That's all that matters.
You know what? It's good to be proud, but just don't be an a-hole about it.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
Yeah,
like,
fair.
Don't be a dickhead about it. Like, y'all be going.
Okay,
Some of y'all be
does the
going a
controller
little
work
bit
for
too hard.
games and
Like y'all work for the
that
company.
I don't have linked to Armory Crate.
Yes. Okay. So, before I answer the question, I want to like kind of correct what I think might be a misunderstanding here. You don't need to link stores to Armory Crate. Armory Crate isn't like asking for your like Steam password or anything like that. All Armory Crate is doing is searching your drive for games that it knows and giving you shortcuts to them right on that home screen. So
Okay, I like that.
You don't need to do any linking of stores. You just install your games in Steam or Epic or GOG or wherever, Xbox Game Pass, and then they just pop up in Armory Crate. If it doesn't pop up in Armory Crate, you can manually add games or other applications. If you want to add like your screen recording application, you can to Armory Crate's home screen. You can do that. If you delete a game from Armory Crate, it will still work, and the controller should still work, but you won't be able to like do the like customized game profile for it and all of that stuff. And honestly, it's more work to remove games from Armory Crate than it is to just play them. So I think this question is based off the misunderstanding that you have to do something to get the games in Armory Crate when you don't. It just happens. And generally, I would argue that you want to launch those games from Armory Crate to get the best support from the gamepad. But I don't think that the system isn't going to completely crumble and break down if you launch it from like Steam Big Picture. Although I haven't actually tried that myself. Like I had kind of planned on trying it, but then Armory Crate ended up being good, and I was like, I'm just going to use this because it just works so seamlessly with the Ally.
There's a design book I read years ago called "Don't Make Me Think," and that's what this device is. It just, it just works. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah, I mean that's just great design philosophy. Don't think
because the thing, like,
related question here: will Armory Crate allow cover art customization? Yes. So it automatically populates the art for games, but if you want to put a different banner or like cover art in there, yeah, you can do that. That's part of the game profile.
I didn't actually know that. That's great.
Yeah.
The thing with the Steam Deck is it's a little intimidating for people who don't know how to really work computers. I think the ROG is more for the casual crowd, but it has like advanced features that you could fuck around with.
About future products that may or may not exist.
Okay. Jones.
When you uninstall games, does Armory Crate remove the icons? Yes, I believe it does. I have been uninstalling and installing and uninstalling a lot of games, and they come and go. So it's not just it's not just going to end up with a bunch of games.
A bunch of clutter. No, you remove a
but
game. But
deleting a game from Armory Crate doesn't install it. You uninstall it from the launcher.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to uninstall the actual proper launcher.
I hate
Jones
launchers.
asks, is there a built-in microphone?
Yes, there is, and not only is there a built-in microphone, but Armory Crate SE has all of our AI noise cancellation options and the mic options like cardioid mode and stereo mode and omnidirectional mode, so you can kind of customize how the microphone works and how much noise you're canceling from the outside world.
We've had a few people ask, are there any plans to reach out to developers to optimize any current or future games to make sure that they run as good as they can on the Ally?
Yeah, in fact, we've already worked with some. We've worked with Capcom, we've worked with Blizzard, we've worked with some other small publishers. Yeah, to ensure that the games are running well on the Ally. That's has actually happened already. We have a number of developer partners that we're always talking. I mean, Microsoft was a huge part of helping us put this together, right?
Right.
In Game Pass and all that. So yeah, that's absolutely happening.
It's exciting stuff. Seventh Thread asks, in your personal opinion, do you think now is the best time to order a handheld like the Ally, or do you think the technology still needs to improve?
Of course, they're gonna
So,
say you gotta
this
order
was one of those
Ally.
questions that I was like, how am I supposed to answer this? But actually, I realized I can answer it with the truth. I personally have been waiting at least a year to buy a handheld. I have been in the market for a handheld. And I, like you, didn't think the technology was there yet until now. Like this was the thing that I was.
Then
waiting for.
they
Everything else
shit
was
on
like,
Steam
oh,
Deck
this is,
low
like,
key.
really good at
They
running
shit
indie
on
games,
Steam Deck because
none
Steam
of them
Deck is fire.
quite run
I got one.
AAA games with like
It's
the
right here, matter of
resolution
fact.
and the fidelity and the frame rate that I wanted for AAA gaming. I'm not saying that they were bad.
This
I'm
John
just
right
saying
here?
They weren't there yet for me, and when what's there yet is going to vary from person to person. This was what I was waiting for. So in my personal opinion, because that's what you asked, my personal opinion, taking off my ROG hat,
This John right here,
I still think that it is the time
fire.
to order a handheld.
If
like
you
the
could
Ally,
get one, get it.
specifically the Ally.
And this is
I
the
think
kill
this
switch
is
case from
the
D
big
brand.
inflection point.
Fire.
For me, 1080-60 was what I needed to like a device that can handle 1080-60 for like any game I want to play. That is what I needed, and I didn't expect to get 1080-120. Right, so it's not like every game's gonna hit 120. That's true
No, but,
for
like,
that's
indie
true
games
for
and
most
stuff.
PC. But yeah, like playing Hades at 120 FPS, playing Diablo at like a 70 to 100 FPS range, and Diablo 4 is a dreamy experience on a handheld. And Blizzard nailed the controller controls for Diablo because, frankly, I never would have thought Diablo 3 would have been good on a controller. But Diablo 4, they designed it for controller. They designed it to have that dash button, and that makes all the difference when it comes to controller gameplay. Anyways, yeah. So that's my answer. Is since we got 1080p and 60, I'm happy, but it's 1080 120, so I'm beyond happy.
So some people in chat are like, why aren't you answering my question? It's because we either already answered it in the last 37 minutes. You'll have to watch the VOD. Or some of these questions are just questions we can't answer because, like I said earlier in the stream, they're about future products that don't exist, or they are just questions that we can't answer or that I don't know the answer to yet. That's why we had people go ask questions on the Discord, because some of these things I had to go hunt down the answer.
Some answers require like
also
us to talk to the engineering or so on.
Literally, some people are asking questions that someone in chat asked 5 minutes ago that was already answered. So like I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
like,
have to
we are
run the
reading
chat
I'm
back.
trying to read it as we
Run
go,
the
but we
stream
also
back
have
after
a
it's done.
doc full of questions, and that was kind of why we did that. So.
Yeah.
Are there any questions that you answer no to? Should I not buy the Ally? I would answer no to that. So another kind of thing related to is now the best time to order, or should we wait until like the technology is better? My other thing about that, and I've been saying this for like 10 years, go back to when I was like writing for tech media, and I used to always say the right time to buy something is when you need the thing, or when you want the thing.
Or you really want it, yeah.
If you keep waiting for the next thing, you'll wait forever. Okay, like it's like buying a phone. Like, oh, should I buy this year's model? But next year's model might have this. Maybe I want to wait. But then next year's model is going to come out, and you're going to be like, well, I heard that the next model is going to have an even higher refresh rate, or an even more, whatever. If you do that, you'll just drive yourself crazy. Like, if it's really not there yet for you, then it's not there yet for you. But if you're like, this looks good, but what if it could be better? It will always get better.
It will.
Right.
History has told us that
forever.
technology is going to
Why
keep
would you
advancing.
wait? I actually am. Like, part of me, I know that this is what I was waiting for, but the last 8 months, there's so many times when I'm sitting there going, I wish I had a Windows handheld right now. I'm glad I waited, but at the same time, like, I spent 8 months without a Windows handheld.
So one thing I'll say, and this is actually something that I did a ton of testing with the Ally with already, and only on Wi-Fi 5, is cloud gaming is like a whole nother narrative that we're pushing into that. Maybe it hasn't been massively adopted yet, but Xbox cloud gaming on the Ally is basically lag free as long as you have Wi-Fi 5 or greater. I wouldn't do it with Wi-Fi 4. I don't think it's a good experience, but if you have Wi-Fi 5, ideally Wi-Fi 6 or even 6E, that is another thing that's really cool.
So get your money up, basically.
One of the cool things there is just
get
the
your
fact
bread
that
up,
you
step
can
your internet up.
play huge
That's what he's
libraries of
saying.
games, and do all kinds of stuff. A lot of people are asking why no trackpads. I mean, again, that's one of those questions that we don't have the answer to necessarily. But if I had to if I had to guess, one, you really don't need it. It's a touchscreen, in my opinion. This is again, this is not me.
Oh, come on. That's them, not my stream. You see, my stream is still moving. That's them. It ain't my internet either, because if it was, then my stream would be lagging too. So let's just hold on. Let's hold on a second. Let's maybe refresh. See, look, they putting F's in the chat.
The answer to necessarily, but if
F's
I
in
had
the chat.
if I had to guess, one, you really don't need it. It's a touchscreen, in my opinion. This is again, this is not me.
Yo, sub to my YouTube channel, JusticeXFalls. Stop playing. Go to my YouTube. Sub up. This is my YouTube right here. JusticeXFalls. Sub up. Stop playing. We trying to hit 1,000 this year. We got 560. You see right there, subscribers 561. Holla at your boy. Oh damn! Look, yeah. See, it's not me. It's them. They stream is lagging. ASUS took down stream. GG's. Yo, they going in. They going in. I think that's it. I think it's over.
We don't have the answer to necessarily, but if I had to guess, one, you really don't need it. It's a touchscreen, in my opinion. This is again, this is not me.
Dang. Call ROG tech support. They beasting in the chat. This is funny. No rush, just hurry up. Valve hacked the screen, blue screen. Trackpad suck. Dang, I think it's over, y'all.
We don't have the answer to necessarily, but if I had to guess, one, you really don't need it. It's a touchscreen, in my opinion. This is again, this is not me.
Wow. The stream not working. Let me go on my phone or something and see. If it's lagging on the phone too, then. Look, it's even lagging on the phone too. It's lagging on the phone too, and this is a Galaxy S20 5G. Dang, F's in the chat. F's in the chat, bro. Dang. Steam Deck is better while watching this stream. I'm gonna still get them a like, because at least they sat in there and they sat down and was like, all right, we're going to answer all the questions that you have. This thing is about to ship next month. It comes out June 13th. I think if you pre-ordered it, you should get it by June 13th. That's the one with the Z1 Extreme chip. The one with the regular Z1 chip is coming out probably like in the fall. That's the one that's $599. Slightly less powerful than the Z1 Extreme, but still more powerful than the Steam Deck. So, you know, that one, I think that one is going to blow the sales through the roof. You know, you are leaving performance on the table, not going for the Z1 chip. But again, the performance is better than the Steam Deck. So if you've been waiting for something that's to perform, if you've been waiting for a Windows handheld that performs better than the Steam Deck, but it doesn't cost the same price as these other ones, like the iNeo, like 1200, or the IN, whatever company that's making Windows handhelds that's charging 1200, then this will be your go-to. This would definitely be your go-to. Then again, if you were considering yourself to be in the market for iNeo 2, you'll probably just get the Z1 to stream, because that's the one that's available now for pre-order. Like if we can go to the but nah, you know what? I'm never gonna go to the Best Buy website because it's gonna show my Let me do it in a way where it's not gonna show my. Let me log out, because it's gonna show my nearest Best Buy. Y'all weird. Y'all gonna try to, excuse me, pinpoint my location and dox me. So I'm gonna log out. and I'm gonna show y'all the landing. I'm gonna show y'all the page for the ROG Ally. So you just type it in search, or it could be on your homepage, depending. I guess depending on the day. Find another store. Hold on. Cause I do not want y'all seeing which one I'm next to. There we go. That one's far away enough.
Okay, stream. Hopefully.
Okay, we back?
are
Never mind.
back?
Never mind.
Are we back?
We back.
I don't know. I think we are, but
We are.
my
I see it. Yay!
Yeah,
Are we on
my-
YouTube though?
yeah my I don't know. I hit go live on both. I do not know how re-ingesting to YouTube works.
Okay, we back.
Anyways,
We back.
Okay, we're
Oh no,
back.
we
Nice.
are. We're
Like
we're
full
live
flash
on
from the
yeah,
Cadillac.
This is
Yay!
all right.
Okay,
All right.
so that crash was brutal, but I did write down some of the questions that people had in chat, so that we can answer them. I wanted to address what you were saying about the touchpads though, because I think that I would phrase things a little bit differently. I wouldn't say you don't need them. I understand that some people like them, but I would go back to my earlier answer, which is when we decided what features to put in the Ally, we took everything and said what.
The stream cut out as soon as they talked
we
about
think that
touchpads.
most gamers
That is
are going
true.
to need that, and that we can hit the price point that we want to hit, et cetera, right? We know that some people want some features, some people want others, some people don't want others. Some people are like, literally, some guy asked me why we had a 120 hertz screen on it. Like, everyone has their stuff. We tried to appeal
because
to
it's
the widest
awesome.
audience we could, and hit a price point that was going to also appeal to that wide audience, right? So I understand that some people like the touchpads, but it just
Of course.
what I can't.
Some people
tell you
like the
exactly
PlayStation controller
what happened, but
layout.
It wasn't in
Like,
the cards.
I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know,
But this is what we did.
yeah.
So I'm
I gotta
gonna
use my.
answer this.
Gotta clear my
question
nose out.
last. I'm gonna go through a couple. See, do you see these questions that I pasted in here?
I do, and I just
At the
really
bottom?
hope my
Okay.
internet's gonna behave because that was a
We'll
weird.
get through these and
that
then we'll
was-
be done. This will be an hour-long
Yeah.
stream. Okay. So people were Prime Gaming Paladin, ML Paladin. Oh, ML Paladin. Said you mentioned owners can access the BIOS, but will there be options to adjust clock speeds and voltages? I don't have an answer. Like most of these questions you guys are asking in chat, I don't necessarily have the answer to right away. That option is not currently in the BIOS that I have, but they're still rolling out BIOS updates, so I cannot necessarily say what they will or won't.
So you don't know basically. Why would they have this Q&A and they were so unprepared to answer questions?
Yep. There is an option Armory Crate to not launch it at boot if you want to do something else. It's Windows. That's the beauty of Windows. You can do what you want.
You have control.
Turbo Tasaric says, "Can you make?"
And by the way,
screen
I'm not
40
blind.
hertz?"
These are blue light
so
filter
it is
glasses.
a
I don't know if you
VRR
can
screen,
see
So it will
the tint in it,
adapt to
but
whatever
these are blue
FPS
light
you're
filter
getting in
glasses.
the
It
game,
protects your
from
eyes
0 up to
from
120
blue
hertz.
light.
It has
Blue
LSC,
light
so if
can,
you're running
make
below
you
the,
drowsy and affect your, your
VRR
eyesight a little
range,
bit.
which is around 40 to
So,
120 hertz. If you're running
If you
below that,
can,
it's
if you're a
still
type of
gonna
person that's in
use
front of
VRR, so
screens
double the
24/7, pretty much,
if you want. So
get a pair of
we do have an
these.
FPS limiter on the Ally, as well as you can use FPS limiters in a lot of games if you want to limit your frame rate to 40 hertz or 40 frames per second for a more consistent experience. I know some people don't like it when the frame rate jumps around, and they want to kind of like say, okay, I'm going to go for settings that get me over 40 frames per second, and I'm going to limit it to 40, and that's going to be like just kind of where it hovers. You can do that. We have an FPS limiter specifically in Command Center that you can just, you tap it and it goes between like 15, 30, 45, 60, like in those kinds of increments. So it doesn't, because it's in Command Center, you can't like type in a specific one. You might be able to do that in like the AMD drivers. But yes, that's a very long-winded way of saying, yes, there are many different ways to run it at whatever, run your games at whatever frame rate you want within the
From 1 to
boundaries
120.
of the screen's capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
How does offline gaming work? This is a good question.
Yeah. Okay,
someone
that's
said,
a
like, I
great
can't
question.
game on
That's a
Steam
great
without
question.
Wi-Fi. Yes, you can. Steam absolutely supports an offline mode. You just have to connect to Wi-Fi like once a week or something.
I think it's every 2 weeks. Yeah, you just
is
need
it
to
2
like
weeks? Okay.
authenticate your device. I think it's like a 2-week window. Once you've done it, you're good.
Yep.
But you do, if you're like living in the middle of a forest and you have no internet access, then yeah, that's not going to work too well for you. But go to the
Yeah,
cafe.
we don't have an optical drive in it, so you can't play your games on CD. That's the feature we should have added. No, so Steam has an offline mode. Xbox, the Xbox Store and Game Pass also have an offline mode. I believe in order to use that, you have to go enable it in the settings so that it can register like that device as like the offline device on your account or something like that. But otherwise, it's no different than using a laptop. Like, you know, if I want to play laptop games on my laptop on a plane or whatever, it's the exact same thing. You can do it with Steam, you can do it with Xbox. I think that there are some other game store / launchers that don't have an offline mode. So that's just something that you kind of have to take into account. I mean, that's true of anytime you're buying games. You got to somewhat take into account the features of the launcher that you're buying on. So yes, offline gaming does work in a number of stores and launchers.
Okay, cool.
Although I haven't really run into a situation where I've been completely without Wi-Fi. Even when I was on the plane or like in a hotel, like I had enough Wi-Fi just to do the authentication, so that I could play games even in launchers that didn't support it. But I know sometimes you're like in a car or something, and
or if you like me, your phone is a hotspot. You can turn your phone to a hotspot.
No.
Connected to that, so you can do the authentication. Then go into offline mode.
Accept like an HDR signal from Netflix or something and tone map it, but it doesn't have like local dimming or anything like that. That would make the device much thicker, much heavier. So it does not have that kind of HDR. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I don't want to like sit here and have dead air while I'm looking at questions, but yeah, most of the questions I'm seeing are stuff we've already answered.
Yeah,
Guys,
we've answered.
Go back this video. We'll stitch this video together because we had this crash. We'll stitch it together. We'll put it up. It'll be on YouTube. I'm gonna put timestamps on it at some point, probably tomorrow, so that you can go back and get some of those questions answered. If we don't answer your question, it's probably because we can't answer it yet. All right, should we hit this final question in here?
Here we go.
What would you like to see improved in the ROG Ally, and what improvements are already being worked on?
Man, so this is like kind of a weird question because we had the chance to offer feedback on the pre-production units. So a lot of the feedback that we had is already being taken into account or has been taken into account.
So let us know what it was.
We were talking earlier about that turning off the boot up sound.
That's something you said.
I was the one who wanted that. I was like,
yeah.
That's a really cool boot up animation, boot up sound. But I need to be able to turn it off so that my wife doesn't hate me when I turn it on while she's falling asleep next to me.
Right.
My allergies starting to kick in. I gotta take my meds, son.
A lot of that stuff. There's some other stuff.
I thought I was good today. Now they kicking in.
The button because it's not final.
Yeah, the buttons was one that I.
That was one of Jake's feedback. They fixed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's hard to say what we want to still see improved because honestly, we were.
I remember Linus Tech Tips. He said that his X button got mashed in already. So hopefully they fix that.
Related, and so a lot of the stuff that I want to see is actually making its way into Command Center and Armory Crate, and hopefully we'll be there at launch. And if not at launch, again, we're going to be supporting this after launch. We didn't just like. And we've been watching the reviews too. Like all of us here have been watching the reviews. We have lists of all the feedback from the reviews. We didn't just like toss these out to reviewers and Best Buy and then like go to Bennigan's and have a beer and say we're done. Like we're just getting started, guys. Updates are coming. Optimizations are still coming. Supporting this device.
I mean, so the button sticking is fixed for actual production. Yes, J Dune. They're sending me a new unit apparently, so that I won't have sticky buttons anymore.
Yeah, and then they were gonna send it to me, and I said Jake needs it more. I'm sending it to you.
You're the best. You're the best. I can't wait.
I do it all for you, Jake.
Yes.
Oh.
Day 1 updates? I don't know. We're gonna. we have day -1.
Yeah.
Like,
so I mean,
we're still rolling out.
We're still a month away.
I downloaded an update today,
and we haven't slowed down. We're still plugging away at tweaking, optimizing, and improving this device. Our engineers are working very hard to make sure that we're as good as we can be day 1, and then day 20, it'll probably be better, and then day 50, it'll be better, and the updates will just continue. Like you said earlier, we release a laptop, you get new features for it. Those features continue to roll out for years to come. That's going to be the case with the Ally. Even when there's an Ally successor, that successor will get updates, and then you'll see those updates come to your device as well. So, like, people are always worried, like, oh, well, should I wait for the next one? No, if you think you want a handheld gaming solution right now, if you're planning to travel or just want to play on your couch or whatever, this device is a phenomenal device.
I cannot tell you, this is almost a little sad. I have not even turned on the PC back here that I usually play on, with, the 3080 Ti in it and stuff. Like, I have just been playing everything on the Ally, 'cause I'm like, well, I can play in bed with this. I was at jury duty all week. I was playing this in the jury duty lounge, just waiting to be I've been playing it everywhere all the time. I will go back to this PC at some point, but the novelty is still there for me. I really can't I know I work for ASUS, right? And so it sounds like I'm just yelling, because that is my job.
I mean, that's his job.
I don't know
Can't
how
be mad at him
to tell you how personally excited I have been for this device the second they told me that we were making it, and it has lived up to all of my expectations. I don't know. I don't know how to say it any other way.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It really is. And this is just the beginning, but we will be dropping this product on June 13th. It'll be on shelves in most regions. Again,
yes, sir.
Join our Discord. We have an Ally pre-order section that's going to continue to be updated for regions. Some regions still have not received information as to when it's going to be on shelves or where they can pre-order. We don't know all of that off the top of our head, but we're going to keep our Discord updated. So rog.gg/join Discord for all of that. If you have further questions and comments, join our community. Feel free to chat there. But I think that's all the time we have for the Q&A today. Sorry, my internet decided to
I figured it'd be an hour.
Half the channels. I lost Whitson's video, but not his audio.
Respecting the call a little bit.
It was super weird.
It was weird.
Work call.
I actually am so stoked because I just got the GT AXE 16000 ROG Rapture router. I'm wondering that if this is my old crappy router's fault that's caused that problem. I don't know. It's a freak issue. I'm swapping to the GT AXE 16000 later this week. So I'm very, very hopeful.
I'm psyched to see that happen.
Yeah, it's actually.
By the way, again, I want to say this last thing I'll say.
Sure.
We're streaming to Twitch and YouTube right now, so I know there are a lot of people on YouTube watching. Guys, if you're hungry for more Ally stuff, I know there are a lot of people in the Discord that have watched every Ally review on YouTube twice and are want to watch more. Go follow us on Twitch. Jake is streaming 3 times a week on the Ally, just trying all kinds of different games. So if you want to see how games are playing on this thing,
let's see if that's cap or not.
Come to Twitch.
Yeah, what we were doing the other day is actually streaming for an hour and then letting chat vote on the next game and then playing a different game for an hour and then just kind of cycling through a variety of games to show off, that we haven't found a game that doesn't run great. Hogwarts Legacy, Cyberpunk, you name it, we're getting basically 60 FPS in all these games at 1080p, and it feels fun.
That would have been bad.
So, I'm working on
got caught lacking.
optimized settings list.
Okay, CNET streaming.
When you buy your Ally day one, you can go get the best settings for balance of fidelity and performance too. That's my goal.
Awesome. Twitch.tv/ASUSROG. I'll drop the link in YouTube.
And check out our Discord. Most of the questions. A lot of discussion happening in the Discord. I occasionally go in there and answer questions when I can. If we are still getting a ton of questions that we haven't already answered.
Well, they do be streaming. Okay.
We'll do another Q&A, but
they be streaming.
Most of the questions are the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
hit it with the follow.
If we have any updates, how about we just say that? Oh wait, no. Next week's Pulse is a different theme. Just kidding. I was gonna suggest we do it on Pulse next week. Yeah, we have a different commitment.
No, we'll give it 2 weeks because people may have completely different questions in 2 weeks. So. Yeah.
Very true. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. GG's Whitson. Until next time. We'll see you later.
GG's in the chat. Okay. That was cool. Honestly, the only question I got answered that I was looking for was what did he say? Can you play it offline? Because I know that the Steam Deck you can play it offline. I recently went on a trip to visit some family, and I wanted to test out the offline mode. Works perfectly. You might need Wi-Fi. Like he mentioned, the guy on the right, he mentioned for like 2 seconds you might need some Wi-Fi just to authenticate and get it going and get the stuff started. But once you do that, you're good. Like if you like me, if you have a hotspot on your phone, put the hotspot on your phone real quick and you're good. Hold on, I'm getting a work call. All right, that was a work call. Real quick. So you can play offline mode. Now, I'm surprised that nobody asked, can you put the device to sleep and resume your game? Because Steam really smoked the game with that one. Like, I don't think there's any Windows device that can do that. Like the iNeo or none of that stuff. Like, even on a real PC, you can't do that. Like suspend games and restart them. That's why people still buy consoles, because you can do that with these consoles now, with this generation, with the Xbox and the PlayStation. You can suspend the game, you can cut it back on later with the quick resume, and things of that nature. So I don't know how you can implement that into a Windows-based device, but I do know you can do that on the Steam Deck, and it is something that if I didn't have it, I definitely would take it for granted. So yeah, like I said, I ordered the ROG Ally. It should be here June 13th. And shit, we gonna see what it's about. We gonna do a little unboxing, do a little review. Maybe I'll go live messing around with the settings. We'll see. So I'm gonna try to get more consistent on Twitch here. I haven't streamed on Twitch in months before this, but I'm gonna try to get more consistent on here. So definitely follow up, subscribe up. This VOD is gonna be up for a while. I'm gonna upload this VOD to my YouTube as well. Yeah, just holler at your boy. Holler at my guys in the chat. Savage Wolf Gaming and Cardiac Arrest. They doing the damn thing out here. So they inspiring me to do the damn thing out here. Feel me? So yeah, that's it. That's a little short stream today. So y'all already know the vibes. It's your boy JusticeXFalls and we out. One. Now how you end this shit?